Premiership round 13 is over, and wow, we've had some shocking results. I think it's fair to say we've had a few crazy games which would not have gone the way anyone would have expected. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Let's start off with the Friday night game. Leicester Tigers went away to Franklin's Gardens to play their East Midlands rivals, Northampton Saints, and it was an absolute blowout. And I don't think anyone saw it going this way. You might have seen Leicester getting the result because they've got a lot of players who are ready to play, whereas Northampton rested a couple. They rested Alex Mitchell, Tommy Freeman, Slightholme might have a little injury, Furbank still not back. So yes, a few of those England players missing. Leicester had all their big guns out, but 33-0 or whatever it is, I need to check the score now. 33-0 is absolutely crazy, and yeah, I didn't see that coming for one. I mean, it starts off early with a try from Adam Radwan, obviously the newish signing from Newcastle Falcons, and a sort of a nice play. I can't remember who takes the ball first, but they get it back to Andre Pollard, who then fires the ball out to Radwan down the right wing for Leicester Tigers, and they're in within 3 minutes. Leicester scoring against Northampton. Crazy start to the game. Within 10 minutes, it's already like 12-0 or 14-0, whatever it is, because Jack Van Portley scores one of the best individual tries you'll ever see. He sort of goes off the back of the ruck, and which he is so underrated at this, by the way. England fans, unless you're a Leicester fan, he is so underrated at doing that. He's probably one of the best sniping nines in the game. Him and Mitchell are both really good at that for England. So yeah, Jack Van Portley doing what Jack Van Portley does. He then did a little kick over the top of, I think it might have been Hendy, I'm not really sure though, and he manages to get the bounce and he scores pretty much next to the sticks. So a fantastic try from Jack Van Portley, reminding people what he's about. And then another try from Ollie Cracknell, although Northampton can be a bit annoyed at this one because I think they kick in behind, Leicester Tigers, they kick it in behind into the corner, and Seabrook picks it up. And Seabrook had a shocker this game. But he picks it up and he doesn't do great at getting away from the defenders. But he does get tackled, and then they drag him into touch, which you're not allowed to do. Once the tackle's complete, you have to release, and he's allowed to stay in the field. So poor linesman there. He did it's shocking. It's shocking officiating, to be quite frank. So disappointing that Timo also didn't say he's been dragged into touch or anything. So Northampton should feel a bit annoyed at that. But basically, Leicester get the line out and they do a nice little move to Cracknell, who's coming off the back, running at full pace. And then I think one of the Northampton defenders slips and he just goes over. So it's like 19-0 within 15 minutes. Absolutely crazy start. And Northampton do slowly work their way back into it, sort of in the possession battle and the territory battle. But they keep messing up opportunities late on in the first half. And it's the same story the first 10-15 minutes of the second half. They were really had like 2 or 3 chances down in the Leicester Tigers 22 early on in the second half, and they kept dropping the ball, wherever they were in the field. It was a really poor day for the Northampton Saints handling. I think Yogan dropped one over the line, if I remember correctly. Someone else also did. It was quite comical to watch, but it was it was strange because it wasn't particularly wet, so I'm not sure why they kept dropping the ball so much. Leicester Tigers dealt with the conditions much better. And then in the end, it's a final bonus point try for Leicester Tigers. They kicked a couple of penalties in the second half to make their lead more comfortable, but they wanted that 4-try bonus point. And Henry Pollock, who came off the bench, just absolutely gifted it to them. He tried to take a quick tap from about 7 or 8 metres out from his own try line and surprise Leicester and get Northampton, a surprise length of the pitch counter-attack. However, he drops it or kicks it or something happens, and Leicester Tigers get the ball back and they just have a free try pretty much and dot it down. So yeah, 4-try bonus point for Leicester Tigers at Franklin's Gardens. Who would have seen that? I did not. So yeah, disappointing from Northampton, and that is probably their top 4 chances over. Unless they win every single game, then they might have a chance, but it's not going to happen if they're done. So they have to focus on the Champions Cup now. They've got a good game against, I can't remember who it is. I'll check that in a second. They got a game against Claremont, so they should really focus on the Champions Cup now. They have nothing else to get from the league. Just make sure you confirm the top 8. try and get that Champions Cup spot for next year. Maybe try and get 7th, just on the real slight off chance that a Challenge Cup, a Premiership team wins the Challenge Cup, which is Exeter or Newcastle. Or Exeter in it? I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's move on to the next game. The Northern Derby, which is a derby of about 100 miles in between them. Newcastle Falcons were at home against Sale Sharks. Obviously, Sale Sharks had some of their big hitters out. They rested Tom Curry, but they had Ben Curry, Tom Roebuck, George Ford, all the big England players. And also, just want to talk about Sale Sharks announced they're going to sign Jack Vermeulen from Leicester. That's a great signing. That's a brilliant signing for them. But anyway, get back to the game. Sale Sharks, and it was quite close between the two teams for about 25 minutes. And just before half time, it was only 20 points to 10. Newcastle done some nice stuff. I mean, Cam Neild scored his first try for Newcastle Falcons, obviously the ex-Sale player, so that was good for him. But yeah, just a pretty solid win for Sale Sharks. Ended up being 39-15, just looking at it here. Second half they really started to pull away. Obviously the late try by Flaherty on the end of the first half was really the game killer. Tries from McElroy and Carpenter in the second half really sort of put it beyond doubt, put the game to bed. I can't talk. I can never talk in these bloody videos. But there we go. Sale Sharks with a great win away at Newcastle Falcons. And I think that takes them, is it 5th or 6th in the table now? They're still fighting away into the top 4. They do it every year, Sale Sharks. They just grind out wins after the sort of Six Nations break. They did it last year. Don't discount Sale for making the playoffs this year, because they do just grind out wins. They don't get bonus points. They're not very pretty. Well, they got a bonus point in this one, but they often don't get bonus points, but they'll just grind out the 4-point wins. And they're dangerous. They're looking dangerous. Next up, Saracens versus Harlequins at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I was there. There will be a matchday vlog coming out in the next 24 hours. It takes a long time to do. I'm sorry it's delayed. But yes, a disappointing game from Saracens. A really disappointing game. I've recorded a video, I haven't uploaded it, about the actual day, and it was a disappointment. But let's get into the game itself in this video. A boring one. We score early on within the first 5 minutes or so. Theo McFarlane gets the try early on. But then after that, there's not a single point from either team till the 38th minute. Tobias Elliott went over it in the corner, which is disappointing from Saracens when you're playing in front of 54,000 people. And it's not like that. Some people say, if you're not watching the game, they still would have tried for that half an hour, but they really didn't. Both teams were very much going for these sort of tactical, territorial box kicking game, which is fine in a normal game, but you're playing your biggest rival at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in front of 54,000 people. I think you should be trying to attack more. Sometimes you have to play up to the occasion. Disappointing from Saracens, and then again they're 12-0 up at half time. I think when did the Harlequins score their first one? Literally not until the 59th minute. So it's taken till nearly the third quarter of the game for Harlequins to get their first score. And they end up winning 23-12. They get a try from Waghorn. And then they just kick a few penalties, which I thought were dodgy. I thought Adam Neal, the referee, was dodgy. Gave a few... There's one particular penalty which Jack Kenningham makes a tackle, immediately rakes his arms back, no release between the tackle and the jackal. They give it. I thought it was a terrible decision. So a couple of penalties pretty much wins the game. The try at the end just makes it look even worse and denies us a losing bonus point, which is fantastic. Harlequins, you can say they deserved it, but they didn't really. They weren't that good. Just Saracens threw it away. Saracens also played very poorly though. Too reliant on the forwards really to make line breaks and go forward ball. I mean, the backs are not making any real exciting attacking opportunities in my opinion. You're relying on Juan Martin Gonzalez to make your main line breaks. So a disappointing performance from Saracens. Harlequins weren't great, but they got the win, and that's all you need to focus on really. They were knocking on the door for a while, to be fair. There was a few chances early on in the second half where they were sort of attacking, maybe it was the first half. Anyway, there was a few chances and warning shots where Harlequins were a few metres out but knocked on the ball. There was a late turnover. So it was coming, and Saracens still didn't bother, really... Well, they couldn't get the territory to launch an attack, but I don't know. It was a poor performance from both teams. This is the game we all want to talk about though. Bristol Bears versus Exeter Chiefs. Bristol win 52-38. 52-38. I think there were 5 tries, if I'm right, within the first 15 minutes or something crazy like that. I should try. Van Rensburg's was the 5th try. We'll get onto that in a second. So that was the 10th minute, Van Rensburg. So it was 5 tries in 10 minutes. That's a try every 2 minutes. It was absolutely crazy. I got to remember who got the first try. Bates gets the first try within a minute. And the first 10 minutes, as I mentioned on commentary, is all about the restarts because neither Bristol or Exeter could win a restart. And it was brilliant to watch though. Maloney gets the first try for Exeter in response, and that makes it like 7-7. And then James Williams gets his first try. He gets another one in the 15th minute. So it is literally just a try fest in the first 20 minutes. A good try from Henry Slade. I think it was a box kick, not a box kick, a crossfield kick from Ben Cohen to Henry Slade. He gets a try there. And then it's the Van Rensburg try. This is outstanding. So literally straight from a kickoff, it's going towards, I think it is Cohen. And then Van Rensburg just comes out of nowhere, jumps and gets the ball, and he's straight in over for a try. And the commentary for that try is also brilliant. Go watch the clip if you haven't seen it already. If you're watching this video, you've almost definitely seen it, but still, a fantastic game. Hopefully the Premiership released the whole game like they usually do on YouTube. Go watch that whole game if you've only seen the highlights. It is absolutely worth it. Bristol next are playing some really good stuff. Bristol, they just bring the best out of every team, don't they? Even Saracens played exciting when Bristol were playing them. So, yeah, Bristol, I love watching them and their games. Good crowd at Ashton Gate as well, by the way. Got to be at least sort of 18,000. So, yeah, Bristol doing Bristol things, really good to see. Got to talk about the red card from Grondona. In my opinion, the absolutely correct decision. He's way too high. And yes, he's slightly bent, but he's still, his body's pretty upright. It's high force, head on head. Maloney doesn't change his direction, and you can see his face is just covered in blood and his nose is all stitched up by the end of the game. It looks terrible. It's a clear red card. So yeah, let's just get that bit out of the way. I'm trying to see if there's any other notable things. Luatua came on and scored a try in the second half. He came on in the first half as a sort of Grondona replacement. I think Rich Lane came off, wasn't it? I can't remember. But I just want to say he played. Rivalval came off for Luatua, but he played really well. I thought in the 50 minutes or so he was on the pitch, so fair play to Luatua. He's always really good, but I just wanted to mention him. Exeter kind of started to come back late on in the second half. Try from Yendall and Rigg, but they couldn't really. They were never going to get back into it really. They were too far gone. They were like 28 points down. So yeah, it finishes 52-38, a great win for Bristol Bears, and yeah, that keeps them in second place. They're hunting down Bath. It's exciting. We've got 2 or 3 top teams in the southwest. Imagine if we had a Bristol Bath or a Bath Gloucester final. That would be really exciting. And talking about Bath Gloucester, that was obviously the final game of the round on Sunday. And it was a pretty good game, wasn't it? It ended up being 42-26. And yeah, it was quite tit for tat. You saw Bath score a couple, and then Gloucester score one, and Bath and Gloucester. It was really good. Opening try was by Guy Pepper. Which sort of goes over. They're sort of picking and going, if I remember correctly. Jomo gets a try. Well, actually, Jack Clement gets a try in between that for Gloucester. So again, there's retaliation, and then a Jomo gets a try. Thomas de Toy, what a tank! Thomas the Tank, and then Thomas Williams gets a try. So yeah, just sort of these tit for tat sort of thing. Will Stewart and Sam Untill came off the bench for Bath. So it's just, again, I think that was the real difference, the strength and depth. I thought Max Ojomo had a fantastic game. He was really good in defence. So yeah, he was looking very impressive, which is important for Bath, of course, because they've lost Ollie Lawrence. So you're going to have to see Cam Redpath, Will Butt and Max Ojomo really step up to the plate in the run-in of this season. A lot of people saying Max Ojomo is a bolter shout for the England squad, just in general, but definitely in this sort of tour to Argentina, where you expect to see a few new players, as a few of the top England players will be on the lines. So it's exciting. It's exciting. We do need a few more centre options in England, and Ojomo has been playing well. So let's see how he goes for the next few games for Bath. But there we have it. That's it for the Premiership round 13. I'm going to put a table over my face showing where everyone is right now. Bath are on 51 points. They're top of the table. Closely behind, as I said, by their local rivals, Bristol Bears. Leicester Tigers and Harlequins round off the top 4. after their sort of surprise victories over their rivals. Gloucester just outside on points difference on 5th. Sale Sharks and Saracens a point, 2 points behind them. So the top 7 are still really, really close. Northampton Saints, as I said, were kind of in this no man's land now. They're 10 points from the Challenge Cup places. They're 10 points from the playoff places. They're just sort of stuck in the middle. Exeter Chiefs also kind of stuck in the middle. They're not going to finish bottom, but they're not going to get anywhere near Northampton Saints, you'd imagine. And Newcastle Falcons, sadly, down in the bottom. They've got the same number of wins as Exeter, but nowhere near the bonus points, which I think it does still reflect the quality. Exeter have lost a lot of games by less than 7 points. People sort of overestimated the downfall of Exeter a little bit. I think they're just a few tweaks away from becoming back to that sort of 5th to 8th region. You think of that, the first loss to Leicester Tigers on the opening day of the season, just a sort of loss like that where they lose in the dying minutes. Exeter Chiefs will be back next season, I think. But yeah, that's it really, guys. If you do like this video, I will be doing Premiership videos every single week until the season finishes. I'm going to try and do some more generic Premiership videos, so give me any ideas what you want to see, but I'm thinking maybe top kits, top stadiums, maybe the history of the Premiership, top seasons in the past, certain little historic videos about teams and clubs. So do tell me if you want to see any of that. Like this video if you've liked this one. It's been a bit of a hectic one. I feel like I've been off it this video. I don't know why. But it's been a great round of the Premiership. If you do enjoy the derby weekend, except when you lose in front of 54,000 people to your rival with a B team. But there we go, never mind. If you got this far, as I said, please do like the video, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Thank you, guys.